forward. And it's a sad story. It's like you're playing ping pong or tennis or something like that. And Puerto Rico, you are the ball. Racket is life. It's like you're gonna be going back to Puerto Rico. Everything's gonna be great. Taxes and everything. Job is not working out. Minimum wage is not compared to what it should be. And the thing is that in the United States, there had been a lot of fights to get officially on the $15 mark, because there's a lot of companies that they don't want to pay way past $12 an hour. So, and you call, I have conversations with a friend of mine that they tell me that at first you're going to get like this job. It's like $11 an hour and it's one of the bad jobs. And I'm like, are you kidding? Are you kidding me? In Puerto Rico right now, one of the highest, there's high-paying call center jobs. There's some jobs that can pay you even like around $16 an hour. But most jobs in call centers center around this rate of $8 an hour. And I've seen this sites such as in Indeed that most of these employers, what they do. Most of these employers, what they do is that they stick around with this $8 base salary, and they sell it in the ad like we have an excellent above minimum wage, and they say it with this proudness, and we are so proud about this, and it's really sickening, because Puerto Rico right now, if you go by the numbers on cost of life, rent is way cheaper than the United States. You could get somewhat decent place to live around the $500 to $600 mark, and it doesn't go below than that, because I used to remember the days in which you could get an awesome place for around $450. But right now we are in a situation that mostly a decent and like barely entering in that decent mark place to live, it starts around the 500, 550 and in the 600. You're talking about a good place to live. We're talking about the 700 to 800, and we're talking a great place to live when you are above the $1,000 league. But in Puerto Rico, the living conditions require also at least, because we know, and I don't follow the outcry of big multinational corporations, but mostly of small and medium business people, because they're the ones that get an impact, and they should be the ones getting the incentives that companies like Walmart, for example, receives, in which the municipality of San Juan pays about half of the payroll of its employees for its store in Santurce. And there was some clause that was like a phase out kind of thing, but I haven't heard something like it has stopped. So they're saying, oh, we're going to pay you $10, $12, or maybe even $13 an hour, but they're really paying you $6, and the municipality of San Juan is paying you the rest. So, and the thing is with retail, that you don't get steady hours. And that makes a really unstable economical situation for a lot of people. So sadly, we go back to the tennis ball theory, in which Puerto Ricans are this tennis ball that gets thrown around and nothing gets done. And the thing is that it's something that really saddens me. And sometimes I go in rants and I say, these people are morons. What are they thinking? And I'm putting it like in PG sense, because I don't want to be putting all the podcasts like they are like this, like they are, I forgot the word. They are like all vulgar and stuff. But that's the sad situation that Puerto Ricans that have to face, and it's really, really sad. And the thing is that we're going to be seeing this trend going on and going off, and it's really sad because we have the potential of the cannabis industry, but then again, the whole machinery of politics trying to play with the fiber of boats. And why? Actually, right now, there's less than 25% of the population doing the voting. They have been so the hopes have been crushed so hard for the reasons of what we have living being here. The whole violence, it responds to the inequality in economic access, and no one wants to see that. It's not like, okay, if you don't want to go equal overnight, I could understand it. It's a process. I could understand the businesswoman or the businessman who has been 20, 30 years busting off his ass, busting off his of her ass, and knowing and shaping a craft, and it's something that is really hard, and I have really a lot of respect for that. I don't get mad at people getting rich in a decent way, and I see where they come from. But the thing is that we have an inflation going on, and if people who are the bloodline of any society, especially people and their participation in the economic process, and they have been stuck, it's really hard. And just gives me a minute, just clearing a little bit my throat. Okay. The thing is that when we analyze all of this, the thing is that Puerto Ricans have been. It's not like, in example, in Venezuela, you have two sides. There is a fight, and two sides try to screw each other so much that they have taken the whole people and made them live in really, really hard conditions, and still in the blaming game. And the blaming game does not save lives. The blaming game does not stop the violence that kills people. The blaming game does not stop the hunger that even kids and elder people are suffering. And it happens in Puerto Rico. This is like, in Puerto Rico, there is this, it is how it is attitude, and people want change. There's a lot of people who want change. I'm not saying that there's not people who want change. There's a lot of people who want the change, but the thing is that they don't see it through politics. They see it through projects, and they're so down. So many people are depressed, even people who are not diagnosed by depression. They are so depressed on how and into what Puerto Rico has become. It is like it got stuck in like 2005, 2006, which makes a lot of sense because it was when the phase out of the 936 IRS code expired, in which it killed the industry. That the industry was really good, because the thing is with factories, and most of them were pharmaceuticals, but there were a lot of industries in Puerto Rico. We have textiles industry that now have been shipped to India and China. I'm not being hateful on that fact, because companies are gonna go with the most cheapest option. And the thing is that in which they love to do business in Puerto Rico, it was the fact that they did have these exemptions, and they could make money, and all they have to do is to pay the normal expenses, pay the bill of the building, pay the employees, pay everyone else. And that was kind of the norm, and it was what was going on. But the thing is that once the industry's left, we are left with retails, outsourcing solutions for retail. That's where the call centers come in. Retail, which are most of the stores, and this includes the hospitality industry and the service industry, which includes the restaurants. And we're left with these big companies that they are used to manage on small budgets, and they are like I would say like a trampoline to a better life, because none of these companies, these are not jobs that are designed to be forever. And some people have taken these jobs as they are for like forever. And the thing is that this is one of the main problems that we're having right now, is that people are so afraid of losing so much stuff. The economic situation, we were not even, and I have to say it, we were not educated on how to really run finances. Why do we need, if let's say for example, if someone wins the lottery, why do you need to run to an accountant? Because my knowledge of accountants, most accountants is like short, cut costs. This employee is too expensive, he's sick, cut costs. This employee is what happened with the Catholic Church and the Catholic Church school teachers, that they had a retirement fund, and my mom was one of the people who was about to get her retirement fund. She was getting retired, and all of a sudden, with just the single stroke of a letter, you don't have a retirement fund. And that was a suggestion made by accountants. Wouldn't it have been more easier to have access to economical management, even if as kids? Economical management, you have 10 cents. You don't have $1. You want a lollipop, that is 20 cents. But you don't have $1. You feel me? Like, having a conscience on how money works, how much can I spend? Because the thing is that we were so left out, and the education process was done so we will work. We will have to go work for someone else. We are not in Puerto Rico. Most the education, not of the people. Because we have a lot of business women and a lot of businessmen. But the thing is, the education system in Puerto Rico is built for that. If you are in the public school, but if you are in a private school, sometimes you get some empowerment along the way. But it's every 2 years, because we don't want like the whole mass becoming 1%ers. That's why it is a 1%, not a 10%. So what they do is that these people who are cast outs, who will not become business people, who will not become entrepreneurs, they will be the employers, the trusted employers, because you study with me, because I know you have this big background of you, who you are, and I feel I can trust you, and you're a trustworthy person. And you don't know if that person was a really good kid and he shares stuff, and then he started getting a kick of stealing shit. And it really sad. And one of the solutions will be to go out and vote and move these people out. But the thing is that Puerto Ricans, I used to think that education was so bad that we didn't knew nothing, but Puerto Ricans know a lot. And the thing is that they know that wherever way they vote, because Venezuela has been used as this example of how the left can destroy an entire country, and it shouldn't be seen like that, because there's a liberal progressive mentality, and a lot of people that I have known that notes that people in Puerto Rico want to get better, that they want to get rid of this actual system that is feeding itself. For example, people in Puerto Rico, they win an election, 2 weeks after that, they go and run into the state office, they sign this company, and all of a sudden, this company, in less than 2 months, is getting these huge-ass contracts in the government. And it's a company that was, let's say, for example, the Whitefish scandal. Because it's not only limited to people in Puerto Rico, it's open to everybody. But let's say the Whitefish scandal, in which a company from Montana that was barely registered 2 years ago, with an office that looked like a log cabin, in which I thought I was going to find like Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and Baby Bear. And then all of a sudden, they get billions, millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in contracts to establish the electrical grid in Puerto Rico. And all of a sudden, that contract disappears. And we can do things way better. And I have said a lot of times, in Puerto Rico, what they have to do in the law that sets up the bids for the government contracts, there should be a clause that all business should have at least 6 years experience, 6 years of being formally registered on the system to say, I want to get a contract. They have experience on that area. Not like a scandal that we have in which this person who was a huge donations